Coming up on Freedom Watch Afghanistan, pathfinders cut it up during training, engineers work on waste management, and Marines get recognition from one of their own. All these stories and more next. Hello, welcome to Freedom Watch Afghanistan, where we tell you the stories of service members and coalition partners dedicated to making Operation Enduring Freedom successful. Since the beginning of the conflict, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers have provided comprehensive assistance and made an unprecedented investment in Afghanistan's infrastructure that Americans often take for granted. Staff Sergeant Daniel Sullivan recently got down and dirty and visited a waste treatment plant to report on what the engineers are doing now.
Sanitation has been a problem in war, dating back to the beginning of mankind.
Sanitation, if you don't have proper sanitation, you run the risk of a lot of people getting sick.
And today in Afghanistan, it's the same old stuff, same toilet. Fortunately, the Army Corps of Engineers built a wastewater treatment facility at Camp Zafar to ensure the Afghan Army soldiers stationed there live in sanitary conditions.
What we're trying to do is to be able to take the water and to be able to release the water back into the natural system in such a way that it's not causing any pollution, it's not causing any contamination, there's no disease, germs, or bacteria.
The new system holds over 150,000 liters and ponds at various levels of sanitation. There was an older system in place, but it couldn't perform its duty alone. Luckily, the Corps added to the facility despite the downsides of the job.
It's very much a thankless job. Having been out on the site, you're well aware of how non-enjoyable it is if you're downwind.
You're starting to get a lot more of the smell coming off these settling ponds and drying beds. It's pretty foul.
The smells haven't kept the Army Corps of Engineers from progress, though.
It's essential that we help the Afghans improve their sustainability. So this is one of the steps in helping them become an efficient force.
The upgraded wastewater treatment plant will take care of the needs of up to 4,300 Afghan Army soldiers. Reporting for AFN, I'm Staff Sergeant Daniel Sullivan.
It's projects like this that leave behind an enduring legacy for everyone involved to be proud of. In our next story, Sergeant Rodney Roldan went to Kandahar Airfield and met with an aircraft powertrain repairer who plays a critical role in keeping our rotary wing assets flying safely.
Rotary wing aircraft play a crucial role in various missions throughout Afghanistan. But its soldiers, like Specialist Michael Hedrick, an aircraft powertrain repairer, who are behind the scenes, putting together the pieces that really matter.
Helicopters, they fly, and we have to make sure that they're ready to fly. And before they can fly, we have to make sure there's no damaged parts and everything's ready to go.
Specialist Hedrick is responsible for performing fluorescent penetrant inspection, where he looks for cracks or damage to specific parts.
Put the developer on. After that, you wait 10 minutes, and then what the developer does is it pulls the penetrant out of the cracks.
His work also takes him to the flight line, where he inspects the aircraft rotor head.
This is the 50-hour bore scope strap pack inspection. I'm going to be looking with my eyes, feeling the strap pack also for damage and anything that may be messed up on it. And I'm also going to be using the bore scope in places I can't see with my own eyes.
Specialist Hedrick's attention to detail and job performance are key elements to mission readiness.
We have to make sure we do everything correctly because it's so important. We do everything correct to the book, to the T. Because if we don't, that could be a bad day.
Army Sergeant Rodney Roldan, Kandahar Airfield, Afghanistan.
During contingency operations, temporary buildings are often constructed, relocated, and eventually demolished to clear way for base improvements. One engineer unit has taken an eco-friendly approach to the demolition process. Staff Sergeant Haley Zimmerman tells us how.
Scenes like these are all too familiar at Kandahar Airfield as the U.S. preps for new construction in Afghanistan. On days like these, the 489th Engineer Battalion lays waste to entire buildings, preparing the way for heavy machinery to do the rest.
We have to come in by hand, and it takes a lot of man hours. The more people, the easier it is.
Projects like these also have an additional benefit.
Everything here can be recycled or contracted out and given to the local nationals.
And that's good for the local economy and the planet.
All the stuff that we have removed needs to be destroyed or used responsibly somewhere else. Whenever we're completely done, there will be nothing left other than what I'm standing on.
As operations like these continue, the 489th Engineer Battalion will no doubt have its hands full, clearing more ground for Afghanistan's future. Reporting from Kandahar Airfield, I'm Army Staff Sergeant Haley Zimmerman.
Some may call this a stress management class. After the break, we'll see some training Pathfinders and the Afghan National Army conducted, and Marines get special recognition. Stay with us.
U.S. Forces Afghanistan leads the way in providing assistance and support to Afghans across the country. And now through Facebook, you can track these milestones, like the advancement of Afghan women, soldier stories, and the successes of Afghan security forces. Share posts so your family and friends can see what our mission is accomplishing. Find our Facebook page by searching for U.S. Forces Afghanistan or type facebook.com/usforces.afghanistan into your browser. Also, hit like to stay up to date on the latest news.
Everyone is different.
Every situation is different.
But one thing stands true. Sexual assault is a crime.
And reporting it to your installation's sexual assault response coordinator is the first step to getting help.
You can make a restricted report and keep the matter private.
Or make an unrestricted report and a criminal investigation can begin. It's your choice. But either way, you'll receive the medical care and counseling you need.
Standing up to sexual assault is part of everyone's duty.
Welcome back. During any emergency situation, first responders rely on their many hours of training to kick in and make things run smoothly. Staff Sergeant Douglas Lovely shows how Pathfinders in Jalalabad prepare for the worst through a rescue extraction training exercise.
So basically today what we did is worked with the medical evac company here, the aerial evac guys, dust-off unit, as well as the Pathfinders that are stationed here on how to take a car apart with the various tools that they carry with them on a mission. We use a host of equipment today. We use some hand tools and some hydraulic tools, some manually powered hydraulic tools and mechanically powered or pump operated power tools. So those hydraulic tools, basically we were able to take the car apart. We started first by taking the doors off, we took the roof off, and then we rolled the dash with various sets of techniques.
So today what we did is we basically went through all the steps and procedures for personnel recovery out of a vehicle. We used all the equipment that we'd primarily use as our mission set as Pathfinders, which is the K-12, Sawzall, pulley tools, and hydraulic equipment. Anything you could think of to safely extract a person from the vehicle, which also we could relate to using in a helicopter.
My favorite part is getting to share it with folks. I mean, I'm a reservist. So in my civilian job, I work on a ladder truck and I take things apart for a living. And so it's a neat experience. These guys had this equipment, they'd never used it before. It's not part of their typical MTO. So you know, this is something we do on a regular basis at home, and it's something these guys might see once in a deployment. So if we can get them that exposure and the experience level that I have, so those guys once in their deployment, they make a great decision that makes a difference in somebody's life, and that gets somebody to go home, well then, gosh, I think that's probably the best part of this, is the potential that it has to change an American's life.
U.S. and other ISAF partners continue to provide critical training to a force of more than 300,000 Afghan National Army and Afghan National Police troops to ensure they remain prepared to lead security missions throughout the country. Sergeant Christopher Toby filed this report from the Helmand province on just one of those missions.
Afghanistan National Army soldiers filed into a classroom for another day of training. Today's course is map reading, and it's just one of the many topics covered by the U.S. instructors in the Helmand province of southwest Afghanistan. While training is the primary focus, the partnership has led to personal relationships with the Marines stationed at Forward Operating Base Delaram.
They're a good group of guys. They're very serious about their job. Still willing to learn and improve upon what they already have, so it's a real pleasure to work with those guys.
While the majority of training focuses on improvised explosive device mitigation, the instruction covers a variety of basic combat skills that the students plan to pass on.
I'm a staff sergeant, so if I learn something new, I'm going to teach the same thing to my soldiers. It's important for them to know.
The Marines serve in a strictly advisory role. They help to facilitate civilian instructors and frequently direct training themselves. The security in the province is solely the responsibility of ANA soldiers.
They already have it. We're just kind of helping them fine-tune their abilities. They were doing it before I got here, and I'm just building upon what they've already learned. These guys are perfectly capable of handling the counter-IED mission here.
Even with the knowledge they already have, the students know there is good reason to pay attention.
They are very experienced and they know many things we don't. They have a lot of information that we'll be able to pass on to our soldiers.
The instructors and the Marines understand the training they administer will help many more people far beyond the ANA ranks.
If we can make the ANA better, the ANA can in turn secure their area of operations. So, the impact on the general public is, the environment will be safer for them to live in.
As the training continues, the ANA soldiers and the local Afghan civilians benefit from the progress. Reporting from FOB Delaram, I'm Sergeant Christopher Toby.
Finally, a Marine Corps unit at Camp Leatherneck was recognized by one of their own. Sergeant David Ogden was there to document the event.
Well, we're being recognized for the Logistics Unit of the Year, and our unit, R4 Operations Group, is going to be receiving that award from the Commandant of the Marine Corps that came out. This will be the second consecutive award for the period of 2013. Within Retrograde Operations Company, we have 153 personnel processing what has come to be $1 billion worth of Marine Corps assets.
We're retrograding ammo back to Kuwait. We're getting reset for the next mission. And basically all the ammo that's not needed anymore for missions out here, it gets sent back to Kuwait, put onto birds. We wish we could be out there hooking and jabbing, but it's a mission that needs to be done, so we're happy to do it. We're happy just to be here.
As operation officers, it's very humbling to see all these Marines out here working hard and seeing all the big equipment moving, the containers moving across the deck, and you see Marines sorting gear and packing gear, and it's amazing how these Marines adapt and overcome and learn their job really quickly. It's just amazing how everything just flows together. It's very humbling.
On behalf of the Marine Corps Association and all Marines who have faithfully worked so hard in retrograding and getting the Marine Corps set to reset, congratulations to you and the First Sergeant.
Thank you, sir.
That's all for this episode of Freedom Watch Afghanistan. Thanks for watching, and make sure you like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter for OEF updates. Until next time, stay safe.